Hey, it's Dallas here, South Island Prosperity Partnership. You're watching a part of a video series that we put together, just talking through some of the various elements of our new strategic plan called Rising to Resilience. This is the fifth video where I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that have inspired us, things that we draw inspiration from as we're doing our strategic planning and analysis of the region. So the first thing I will say is that there are way too many actual inspirations that we draw from to name all here in a video. I'll start with a few. And we actually have an appendix in the strategic plan that actually links to some of these. So if you want to read more in depth about some of these things, then we encourage you to do that, because it's a really, I know economic development sounds boring, but it's actually a really, really fascinating field, looking at systems thinking and how different elements of our ecosystem, our economic ecosystem in Greater Victoria, how they interplay together and impact each other. So there's lots of stuff to explore here, ranging from the micro, the household level prosperity, to the meso level, how the economic region works, how people live and work and play, and then the macro. So how do these macro forces in BC, in Canada, and abroad globally, how do these forces impact us in our day-to-day work on the ground here? So the first thing that I'll mention in terms of what's inspired us, obviously, and this is the most obvious one of all of them, and that is our members. So our members are really key to this whole thing. SIP is not like other economic development structures you'll see in other parts of Canada or North America. We're not a municipal department. We're actually a very multifaceted, dynamic alliance of local governments, First Nations, institutions, businesses, all these different voices all coming together and deciding that we're actually better together. That collaboration toward achieving what we want is actually the way to do this. So we're really thankful to our members. They are our inspiration first and foremost. The second thing that we drew from for this plan is really the reboot plan. So the economic recovery work that was done over the last year as a result of the pandemic. And that report, really, you can see a lot of the themes and the elements that were really carried forward from that work and that plan into this plan. So that one was really a whole choir exercise. So it's really what every organization in the region and local governments, what we're all doing together to recover. Whereas this plan is really what is our organization doing? What's our role? What are the things we need to achieve in order to help others rise up and get toward a more resilient region? So that's what this plan is. So that was the first thing. The other area is we do a lot of we get a lot of insights from global thought leaders and expertise. One of my favorites is the Brookings Metropolitan policy program, and so they have a number of different pieces that we use to sort of evaluate our own work. One that I particularly love was a piece by Amy Lau called Reinventing Economic Development. So it's really looking at the practice of economic development at a metropolitan metropolitan region level, and what are the new ways, the new frameworks that we need to evaluate. So bringing things like sustainability and a clean economy, clean growth, and equity, diversity and inclusion, making sure we have strategies for that. So that's a big one that informs and inspires us. The other one is we've been really fortunate over the last year or so to work with an organization out of the UK called the Business of Cities, which is headed by Dr. Tim Moonen. And so we have some reports that he put together that were really a deep dive on our region, and benchmarking us against global peers, evaluating our readiness to be a more international city region, and that. So those reports were very influential in our strategic work. Another one that I think is really interesting, it was something that was put together by the World Economic Forum, something called the Great Reset Initiative. And so what they did is they took a real systems thinking approach and really explored how all these different global challenges and opportunities in some cases, but really how all these things are interconnected. And so the fascinating thing for us about that is that we know that there's all these macro forces that really impact the future of our region, and we need to consider all those macro forces in how we conduct our strategy and how we operationalize that. And so you can explore some of those in the strat plan, some of those forces, some of those challenges, some of those opportunities that we need to consider collectively. Another one that I think is going to be increasingly influential in our work is this idea of this new values economy, or more of a well-being economy. And so you're really starting to see the narrative play out. A new book by our former governor of the Bank of Canada. He put out a book called Values, which is really about this. There's a world-renowned economist named Mariana Mazzucato out of University College London, who's leading a lot of this. She's getting a lot of traction worldwide from presidents and prime ministers. Even the Pope has endorsed her work. So we're really paying attention to this, how these new tools and how this new strategic thought is really going to be influencing the future of economic development and the future of metropolitan cities, and what we can do to be a more values-driven, sustainable, inclusive economy going forward. So those are just a few examples. You can find more of them in the appendix of the strategic plan. And anytime you want to reach out to us and talk about things that we should be paying attention to, articles that we should read, things like that, don't hesitate to do it, because we're a little bit nerdy that way. We love to consume information and make sure that we're adapting that into our work to be more effective on the ground. So reach out to us anytime, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.